The nation is facing a demographic tipping point. In 2020, white children will no longer represent a majority of Americans under the age of 18. Fueled by that rising diversity, the number of children attending school with students of other races has nearly doubled over the last 25 years. But it's not in the big cities. This trend is mostly unfolding in small cities and suburbs, according to a Washington Post analysis of the nation's traditional public school districts. Communities and school districts across the country that once were virtually all white are now racially and ethnically diverse. But an increase in diversity doesn't necessarily mean there's an increase in integration, and that's an important difference. A diverse district has students of different races. In an integrated district, that diversity is reflected in the individual schools. Studies show all students benefit from integration. Children in integrated schools learn to work with people who are different. Children of color do better, and white children do no worse academically. In order to allow for integration, you need a racially diverse student body. Experts put that benchmark at no one race representing more than 75% of the students. Using this definition, fewer than half the nation's students attended diverse districts in 1995. By 2017, 2/3 of American students were educated in diverse school districts. This new diversity mostly comes from Latinos moving into historically white areas. But are these diverse districts actually integrated, or are students still clustered by race and ethnicity 65 years after the Supreme Court declared that separate schools are inherently unequal in Brown v. Board of Education? Data shows that the number of children in highly integrated districts has grown from 5.9 million in 1995 to 10.8 million in 2017. The integrated districts tend to be in newly diverse communities, typically places that used to be mostly white. Over the same span, the number of children in districts that were not integrated has stayed about the same. These communities tend to be historically diverse places, typically large cities and districts located across the South. There are a few possible explanations. People of color are arriving to newly diverse communities at a time when discriminatory housing and mortgage practices that set patterns for big cities are no longer in place. Latinos have never been as segregated from whites as African Americans have, experts say, and there is some evidence that white attitudes are less biased regarding Latinos. One unknown: will these newly diverse communities maintain integration over time, or will they wind up closer to their big city segregated peers?